Do I regret going to art college? Something artists or other creatives get asked a lot is, do you need to go to art school to be a true artist? Is it necessary to get a diploma or certificate to break into the industry? The short answer is no. You do not absolutely need to go to art school to be a successful, self-made artist. But as someone who has been there, done that, I'll go ahead and explain the long answer for you. Education is never a waste when you truly dedicate yourself to doing the best you can and always growing. Striving for improvement and understanding is a plus. Whether you go to school for it or not, it's all about how you work, not the people around you. Now, that being said, there are some pros and cons to both sides. You might be thinking, if I'm good enough at art now, then why would I pay to go to school to do the same as I already am? Well, that may be true in some circumstances, but consider this. Do you know all the ins and outs of the industry? What do all the rates, lingos, contracts, legal rights, etc. mean? Do you know how to use all the programs you might be required to use? How proficient you must be with all the pressures of time management and answering to your client or boss? Meeting deadlines, revisions, how to not be taken advantage of. How do you make a professional and ever updating portfolio and meet requirements? If you answered yes to all of this, then congratulations. You should be ready to work. If you're unsure or you have no clue about this side of the business, then art school or programs would benefit you. Definitely depending on where you choose to learn or the circumstances presented to you, but if you do your research and learn about different places to study, there are many benefits to schooling to help guide you in the right direction. Not only will you learn about software, materials, presenting, taking feedback, but you should be able to learn about the marketing side and business side of the world. This will show you how to safely apply yourself to the art industry. On the other hand, you might be thinking, will I be taken seriously in the art community if I don't go? Once again, this will depend on you. Yes, you can be taken seriously for your work and you take yourself seriously about taking the steps to grow your art career. You need a great deal of buckling down discipline to achieve this. Art isn't something that you can just have a free ride and make pretty pictures and pieces for people to buy. I mean, in the most simplest of transactions, yes, but even then, it is way more complicated than you think. Say you work hard on your piece and you put it up for sale online. If you are good enough at marketing and have an audience, then you sell it. There is still the matter of how much to charge. Like, did you calculate the time, the effort, the materials or programs cost? What about packaging and reinforcements to mail it? What about the postage? And to add, did you undercharge yourself? It is very common for amateur artists to tend to sell their work for dirt cheap prices just to get any money at all. If you continue like that, you will burn yourself out eventually and inevitably and have little to show for it. If you are able to educate yourself through the vast resources out there, libraries, the internet, like YouTube, other artists who have been in the game for a while, and sheer practice, you can accomplish being a self-made artist without school that way. Now, here's what I found to be my experience in art college when I went. Some of the good things are I met some really great people, made friends, networking connections, learned from those who had been through the process already. You will be needing these people in your life for your art career, and the school will help you choose the right ones to put yourself around. The next thing would be you learn the meaning of meeting deadlines. Meeting deadlines, oh boy. How to protect yourself when working for others or for yourself, and be as efficient as possible with your time. Time is money, and it has never been more relevant than being an artist. How long it takes you to do something will cost you. Another thing is you will pick up skills and understand what clients are looking for when applying to jobs or selling to customers/companies. And another is you will see what it's like to work in solitude or as a team, and what goes into each project to make it happen to completion. Now, what you don't often hear about this is not every art school will offer what you want to learn as a class or subject. So you don't just take a class because it's art related. Please look carefully for the right program for your interests. It will truly, you don't want to waste your time and your money on something that's not going to be good for you, not going to fit. Look into reviews and see if you can reach out to graduated students or current students to see if the schooling is worth it for that particular school. See if they accomplished what they set out to do with their work. See if they made it to the type of like art field they wanted to go into. Say they wanted to make like commercial art for ads, or they wanted to make comics. Did they end up getting where they wanted to be? Or are they going that way? Another thing is to see if the staff is properly qualified and equipped to give you professional education and advice. This is very important. You are going to go there to be the best you can be, not to tolerate subpar teaching and be out of a lot of money. This can screw you over because some places will start up their own little school and just hire people that weren't taught to teach, and they will not give you the right kind of guidance that you are looking for. So make sure you check that out. That is one of the most important things. And next is, do they offer job placement? Do they have a recruitment service? Do they set up portfolio reviews or meetings with industry veterans, or set up hiring places or like conventions, take you to conventions for it, like a job fair? All of this is important to helping you get started, because if you don't have it, then you are on your own, and it is super, super difficult to figure it out when you're alone and you have no experience. You know the whole thing about getting a job without experience, but you need experience and you need a job to get experience. Yeah, school should be the ones to set you up for that after you graduate. Another thing to remember is that art is subjective, okay? Everyone will have their own opinion of art. Their art, your art, anyone's art. There is no do it by the book. Only some lessons of how certain things work for certain things best, like certain techniques and stuff. But other than that, no. Your fellow classmates and teachers are not you. You really need to consider this and think about this if you are thinking of going into any kind of art-related schooling program where you're going to be around other fellow creatives who are going to be looking at your art. They may like something entirely different from your style and critique it to try and change it to be how they like it and what their personal preferences are. So yeah, they're only going to change it to be the way they want to see it. They're only going to offer advice for that. They may help you with certain things to help fix it, but But take it with a grain of salt. Sometimes their suggestions can be helpful to make it better, and other times they don't understand what you're trying to create or convey, and you just have to do it your way to make your artwork yours, because sometimes your ideas are the best ones. Not every time, as much as we would like to think so. Not every time, but remember, only the person who can make your art is you, and it may be something that the world loves, but those particular people don't. So don't let them change you completely. Make sure to advocate for yourself, and don't be afraid to take things that you think might make it better, okay? And let's see. My teachers were all different. Some liked my style and my ideas better than the other teacher. Depending on who marked it, I may or may not have a better or worse grade. And they also never give you, well, may not give you 100% on any of your work, because you can always improve, which is true to a certain extent, but it's super disheartening to hear. No matter how hard you try, right? It could be like the perfect piece, and they're like, well, it could always be better. Art is not a test, it is creative. There's no guidelines to actually properly make it. Art requires a tough skin for a creator. It sucks because you make art to express yourself, your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, your ideas. It's super personal. It's literally like a diary, but with pictures instead of words. And you have to harden your shell, or the industry will eat you alive. People are going to critique your work, whether it's constructively or not constructively, and they're going to tear you down, and they are going to rip every single piece of your work, and sometimes you, apart, and you have to just separate yourself from it. And it's stupid and it shouldn't happen that way, but it does. And you really have to figure out if you're up to snuff for that kind of thing, if you can put yourself out there and do it. So all in all, art school can be a great experience for you if you look for the best options for you to suit and support you. And if not, you got to put the same dedication into your own craft to achieve your goals, and with enough hard work, you can be a professional artist too. So it's all up to you. If you feel like you lack certain things that you would do better if you learned it from someone else who actually knows what they're talking about, and it'll help you figure out how to do things better, be more efficient, and actually get yourself a job. If you want a big job, then do that. But if not, then just work yourself really hard. Don't play around. You gotta actually put in the time, the effort, the work, and research. Teach yourself. If you're not gonna go to school, you still have to teach yourself to get where you're gonna wanna go, because art is one of the toughest things to do, and there's so many things about it that you can do in it, and it's all around us. And the one thing is, though, is that we can be considered non-essential workers because we just make pictures. Yet who do you think designs street signs and like medical textbooks and infographics? Every pretty much picture, design, anything you've ever seen was made by an artist. So keep that in mind. Work as hard as you can, but don't burn yourself out. Remember, you don't want to turn art into just a job. You want to keep it as something that makes you feel good. And yeah, that's my experience, and I hope you guys got something from this. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.